just for a moment, because why do some of these issues come up? February 2022 UP elections, Rampur, burqe mein farzi vote dalne aayi maa beti giraftar. There have been instances like this. A few instances here, a few instances there. Allegations have been made, and I have a whole list of allegations.
Gaurav, when you have that list, can you also
February
look at the fact
2025
that
Delhi
there
Chunav.
have been cases where women are being asked to lift their veil and identify themselves outside of the polling booth,
which is
which is
wrong.
patently illegal, which
Yes.
is what causes a lot of drama.
Absolutely.
And more importantly,
So follow
every
the
single-
law.
So nobody is saying don't follow the law. The
Where is
problem
the law
comes
not being
in.
followed?
The problem that comes in is when you create this entire perception that fake voters are coming from one community, and two,
Dog whistle.
that somebody has the right to check. Who has the right to check? Bhai, the rule is very clear.
Anganwadi workers appointed by election commission, only election commission.
They have created the guidelines. They have put a system in place. Why appoint elections at the election commission saying that they are siding a certain party? The timing is questionable.
The timing
Because
is
the timing is
questionable.
there is a problem
Suresh.
even with the Gungat.
Raising-
Then
The
the
timing
opposition
is
is when to speak
questionable.
against women in Gungat. But again, the whole point is that that practice is not entailed for women in Gungat. For women in a hijab, it is clear that they say that they don't want to show their face. That is where the problem comes in. And I
Suresh, that's
just
the
want to-
problem.
I
That's the
just want
disconnect.
to-
That's
I
the
just want to
disconnect.
say
That is
one
the
thing.
disconnect between the newsroom
Okay,
and
the
outside.
moment-
If you're
the
actually
moment-
telling
the moment
that is
Suresha-
trying to
the moment Suresha completes her point.
Supreme Court, I just want to reiterate what Siddharth sir had
there are
said.
different
Okay.
forms of headdress which are part of Islamic religious and cultural practice.
Okay.
You should not mix them up. There
Fair
are
enough.
different grades, and let's not just bring it all together into calling everything a burqa.
Okay.
everything is not a burqa.
Yes.
We are talking about the ones that cover their face,
So
which
one by
includes
one,
Pardah
one by one,
in-
Suresha. Okay, first Geeta.
North
Yeah.
of India.
Geeta. Just let Geeta complete her point.
No.
Yes,
I'm just
Geeta.
saying that it's not burqa is burqa, but there are other pardahs that and pardah systems that's practiced across India, and where you don't see them actually questioning that pardah system. And it's happened in every debate that we've seen through years now. Burqa system is actually
Geeta, we
singled
could bring
out.
in education,
then
we
the
could bring in
opposition
France,
made
but
that
that's
point,
not
no.
relevant.
No,
Let's
we will
stick
bring
to
in
the
France.
point of
Let the
burqa
opposition make that a
and,
point. You
okay,
come up
and
speak for
proving your
yourself.
identity.
That is not stop for this.
You can talk about what the opposition should bring or not.
Geeta,
Us
how
as
should-
journalists should
Geeta,
not be
Geeta,
talking
how
about what
should-
opposition
how-
or
okay,
what
Geeta,
the government should
no,
bring in.
Geeta,
We are
one
talking
thing-
about any
how-
question
Okay,
and
one by one,
constitutional
just one
body
question.
and
Let
a
everybody-
constitution body's
Geeta,
decision.
Geeta, one
And we as
constitution
journalists,
body-
journalists over here are discussing that.
Geeta,
Let
how-
the opposition do what they want to. If they're
Geeta,
not
how
doing their
does-
job,
Geeta,
it's not
how
my
can-
problem.
No,
I have a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
How does a election officer verify that someone who is wearing a complete burqa is the person who is qualified to vote with a voter I card? What is the process to do that?
There are
Preeti,
4 checks right
yes.
before you enter. 4
So,
checks.
so
before
if
you
the,
enter.
if the,
We're
one-
not
one-
against-
can I
we're
respond?
not
If
against
the
doing
burqa
a
is
check.
lifted outside, that's okay. But if it's
That's
lifted
not
inside,
okay.
huh, what are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying?
One by one.
How do you
Okay,
verify?
one by one.
Follow
Excuse me.
the
You
SOP.
can't.
One by
Maria,
one.
come
Follow
in.
the SOP
Is
for
it okay to
everyone.
lift the burqa on the roadside at the
no,
first level
no,
of check?
no.
Checks before. No.
What are those checks?
Oh,
Define those
Yes,
checks.
Preeti is.
What are those checks?
There's
Mr.
a-
Moderator, what are those checks?
Preeti is coming
Are
in.
those checks okay?
Preeti is coming in on the fact of.
If you lift it on the roadside, is that
No,
okay?
no,
Then what
no,
is the check?
no.
Siddharth, I'll tell you.
Explain the check.
Siddharth,
Tell me the
I'll
check.
by the
Yes.
way,
I will tell the check.
free
Tell
check.
me the check. One by one.
Check is inside.
Yes.
Not, it is inside, not
Oh,
on the
yeah.
roadside.
Then, oh,
It is
first
inside
is right,
the
third is not
officer.
right.
Okay.
It
Yes.
is
We
inside
have
the
only
officer.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Can I say
Yes,
something?
only Preeti, only Preeti. So Yesha, give me a moment.
Get
Give me
your
a moment.
facts
Only
right.
Preeti, only Preeti, only Preeti. Preeti, go on.
What the facts are, Siddharth. Once again, calm down, Siddharth, number one. And I'll tell you what the facts are. What is there to get right? Already there were SOPs in place which were being followed. Number one. Number two, for the election commission to right now, when we speak, I'm not saying the election commission is dog whistling, but it's sounding like dog
SOP
whistling.
being created, or is it from the
So
past?
you're saying it's the new SOP?
No,
Are you
I'm
saying this is the
asking
new
you.
SOP?
You tell me, is it new
What
or
was
old?
the need? What was the need of the election commission to come out and say, because
Muslim voters where women in burqas are concerned, they will be checked by Anganwadis.
Is it a new SOP or an old SOP?
When it was already being followed.
Is it a new SOP or an old
When
SOP?
what was
It's
the
an
need?
old SOP.
No, 1 second. What was the need?
I rest
But
my
please,
case.
I
it's
rest my
always
case. What was the need?
reiterated.
Why
It's
reiterate
being
it?
reiterated.
Why reiterate
It's
it?
being
It's the
reiterated.
same question. What
But
was the need for
Gaurav,
SIR?
Gaurav,
Okay.
why?
Ask that question.
Okay.
Valid question.
Now let me
Gaurav,
take it
why?
forward.
But
and
no
bring
new
in-
law has
bring
been
in
created,
Anisha.
no new
I want
procedure
to
has
bring
been
in-
created.
Yes,
3
Anisha.
checks are happening. If the first check is okay, what is wrong with the third check?
No,
I'm
Anisha
sorry,
is coming
let
in
me
again
just
on
please
purely on the
clarify.
legal
There is
position.
no first,
Anisha.
second, third check.
No, you guys are saying I am not saying that. I didn't say that.
Identity of
I
a
didn't say.
burqa-clad
I
woman
didn't say.
can only be
Okay.
checked inside.
Yes.
By
Before
a
you
woman
get in,
polling
before you get
officer.
into the
So if
level
there
of
is
the
privacy, then what is the
It-
problem?
by a
Please
lady
support
officer.
you there. You are
But
absolutely
my
right.
point
And
is,
I
the
didn't say
fact-
three.
one second.
Just-
Anisha,
the
one
fact
second.
that
I
the
want
EC
just
Give me
is
some-
saying this
Anisha,
in
let
the
us
way
just
that
complete
they're
the point, then
saying
I'm coming to
it
you,
is
Anisha.
creating a question
Anisha,
Okay.
of why this kind of reiteration is happening. This
Brilliant.
rule has been
Okay.
on the books
Your
since
question,
the
your
80s.
problem is with the
Absolutely. Come-
reiteration. We'll deal with that separately. But I'm just saying, trust the judiciary, trust the election body to say that they've set, they have a set of guidelines to ensure that when these women under the burqas are checked, when their identification is checked, it is done keeping in mind religious sensitivity. And that is a term that has been quoted again and again in the Madras High Court verdict that Sir mentioned, in what the Supreme Court said in 2010, and in what the poll body is saying now. You could have
I'm
a
not
problem
denying
with
that.
why come out with it separately. That's a
Yeah,
separate
we don't
point.
agree- we
I
don't
Fair
don't
enough.
agree with
Let
all
me
the
then bring
identification
in
being
one more
done in a
point.
manner.
My
I
problem
let
is
me-
with
hold on.
political
You
leaders.
cannot
My
say,
point
why
is with my
Let's-
this
problem is
happens,
with
this
political
happens.
Okay,
There are no
now let's
specific
move forward.
laws for
Okay,
that.
this
We
point
don't
is settled.
disagree with the
check
SOP.
Here outside, my problem is with what Preeti pointed out, that there are women voters being turned back by polling agents. My problem is that when there is a rule clearly to say that decency and privacy must be maintained, that a woman polling officer must be there, why is it that we are creating this kind of dramatic scenes by political leaders saying, "Abhi burqa utha ke dikhao."
Then
Ya
action
identify
needs to be
paper
taken
dikhao.
against those
So
political
that is
leaders
exactly where
and
this
not this
entire
entire
problem comes
process
in.
or bring the process in question